Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Spiritual Freak Show. We are back on the journey through the tarot with Melody, and today we are going to be talking about the Magician card. So, welcome back, Melody.
Hello, thank you. So we are continuing on our journey through the tarot. We're starting with the major arcana, and we are on the magician.
Yeah, so in case you haven't noticed, we have not put out a podcast for a long time. Um, so
Eclipse season, I
we've been
blame.
really wanting to and have set many a scheduled time to do this episode. But to me, I was like reflecting upon it, and I was thinking about when Melanie and I started the project, we were talking about planning this and kind of how each card has its own energy, and as we go through the cards, we're also kind of going through these energetic experiences. So I feel like we were kind of having to go through our first two cards and clearing a lot of that energy to be able to go into now like expressing this energy, which is more of a, I think, well, we'll talk all about him, but I think he's like kind of a little bit more grounded and be able to move some of that energy. So I feel like maybe some other people can relate to that, just feeling like they had some purges and some cleansing and clearing that happened over the winter. Now we're into spring. It's May now. So I think it's really interesting to see as we go through these cards, we're going to be obviously giving information so that people can learn to read the tarot because that's kind of the whole theme of this project. But it also is energy healing and like activation to be able to connect and embody all these archetypes. And, some of those things are positive, negative, whatever experience it is, we need to move through it. Um, so it's nothing to be like scared of, but it's also something that we can acknowledge and look at like for ourselves and in the collective, like what has been happening. So tarot, like astrology, can also be kind of used to look at collective information. And I think when oftentimes if people are all pulling cards, they're probably going to be pulling some of the same cards over and over again, like as a theme of the moment. So sometimes it's interesting to see what other people are also like picking up on. If you see, like, listening to a podcast like this or other people who are posting about tarot or astrology, I think it's cool to see like the different perspectives, how we all are experiencing something, but it's all, through our own unique, whatever's happening for us personally. And then we have
Mhm.
that collective layer. But I just thought that was interesting, because I think, and the last one we did was about the card of the year, which was the Hermit card. So,
Yeah, that's
um,
right.
we can also go back on that and look at that and reflect upon how that card, that energy has been happening and we've been experiencing it throughout the year so far. And then, the second half of the year after the uh solstice slash my birthday, then that's like, another I always see as like the first half of the year we're kind of clearing and then the second half of the year we're like bringing those things into action. So it should be
Mhm.
interesting, and I think that goes well with the energy of the magician. But hopefully, it won't be a whole nother like 6 months before we do another podcast. Hopefully, we'll be able to move through the magician energy quickly. Um, but yeah, what do you think about that? Anything you want to say before we talk about him?
Yeah, I mean, I I do think when we start to work with with anything esoteric, it does seem to reflect what is going on in our lives personally and collectively. Like um it's just interesting. And that's what it's why I like working with esoteric tools because it makes me feel connected. And um
A
and
way
it
to process too, I feel like what's happening around you.
yeah, and it I mean, in reality, we are all connected, like we're connected to nature, we're connected to each other. And um, I feel like when we start to work with these tools, we really begin to see that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I feel like I kind of feel like that's what you were saying, um, or that's what it inspired me to think of. So
Yeah, and I feel like,
yeah.
we wanted to do another episode and we will kind of about some of the energies and things that have been shifting, but I think for like melody and I see also for myself because I know myself in my life like that those shifts have been happening a lot like because we were, our first episode was about the fool and we are, stepping into these new adventures and one doing the podcast is that a new adventure as we talked about in that episode. But I think we can see how some of those ideas and those intentions we put into like what we wanted are now being able to happen. And sometimes that isn't always the way that we expect. But I think
Or
I
the
just,
timing we expect.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about that on our next one. Um, but I want people to kind of just think about before we go into the magician, like reflecting upon that full energy. And like we did that, when was that? December or something?
Was that December?
Where were you when we dropped the full episode? But just think
Yeah.
about like in terms of what was happening at the beginning of the year to what's happening now, like reflecting upon, some of those new things that you maybe been able to embark on. And, the magician is now he's able to integrate some of those tools that he's learned on that journey and be able to bring them into manifestation. So we're going to talk about that
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, absolutely. The progression from the fool to the magician is really interesting because the fool, as we talked about in that episode, it's potential, and it's that space where we're ready to embark on a journey. We're ready to go into the unknown. And the magician is about action, um, and like getting our shit together, kind of, so that we can do what we intend to do. Um, and yeah, I mean, do you want me to go into like kind of the symbolism on the card?
Yes, we can
Yeah.
talk about him. We wanted to do a little reading for everyone too, but let's introduce the our card today. So we have the
Yeah.
magician. If you have a tarot deck at home, you can pull out your magician card
Pull
and,
out that magician.
check it out. And if you don't have a deck already, you can look it up online. And if you're watching the video, um, there he is.
Yeah. So, he's yellow, which is like the Fool. The Fool card is also yellow. And it's a very solar plexus type energy. Um,
Willpower.
yeah, willpower, connecting to our power. Um, so the magician has one hand like pointed up to the sky, one hand pointed down towards the ground, which is the as above, so below. Um, and that the meaning behind that is up to personal interpretation. Um, the way that I see it is once again like that concept that everything is connected and everything is a reflection of everything else. Um, And so he also has like a table, and there's all these items on the table. There is the wand, the cup, the sword, and the pentacle, and all of those stand for the elements. And we're going to dive deeper into those elements probably a few years from now.
Hopefully not. When we get into the suits of the card, we'll tell you more.
When we get into the minor arcana or the um oh shit, my screen just went blank. But yeah, when we get into all that or the suits, so basically what that is representing is that he has all the tools that he needs for success. Um, he has like the aspect of fire to connect to his passion. He has the aspect of the cups to connect to his emotional world and his dream state, um, to like create the dreams that he wants to embark on. Um, and he has the power of the sword, which represents air, and that's his ability to focus his mind. And then he has the pentacle, and that stands for earth. And that means material world. That means like the pentacles represent what we touch, and it represents matter. So all the other elements,
Physical
they're,
reality.
yeah, exactly. Like all the other elements really have to do with our being, our thoughts, our emotions, and our passion and will. And the pinnacles is what creates things. The pinnacles is how all of those things are expressed. Um, so so yeah, basically the magician, when it comes up in a reading, it's a reminder that we have the power. Like we have the power to fulfill our dreams. And kind of like what Grace was saying earlier, like um when we embark on a journey and when we go into creation, it's not always going to look the way that we thought that it did because it
Trying
is a
to still hold up the
collaboration.
card. My arms are
Yeah.
getting tired. We switch hands.
um like it's not always going to look the way that we think it's going to look because we are in a collaboration with the universe and the material and the matter world. um but we do have the power to create our dreams, and um that is what this card represents. um and the infinity symbol over his head, that means that, well, it can represent a few things. It's so this create, the magician is about creation, and creation is infinite. um it's beyond our understanding. It's going on and on and on in ways that would blow our minds. And so the infinity symbol on the magician card means, it can mean so many things. It means endless potential, and it also means that we are never done. Like when our life is over, like we're still not done. It's still a process of creation. Um, so yeah, but those are kind of the basics of this card. Um, I mean, a few other symbolic things, like he's wearing a white robe or a white, not a white robe, a white dress. And over that, he's got a red robe. So his white outfit represents like his purity of intention. Like the white represents a pure intention, and the red represents the passion that goes along with that intention. And those two things together is like the energy behind action and creation.
Yeah, and I also think white is also that's a blank canvas. That's an energy that could
Mm.
become anything. So when he has, all these elements on the table and he also is this white, this is being able to take that energy and make whatever you want out of it. And that is a lot of the energy he does is alchemizing energy. So sometimes that's taking something and shifting it into something different. But then it's also opening yourself up to what does that something different look like? Because we don't actually know the outcome of the magic, the spell that we're doing. We just have
Yeah.
our intention, and then, you know, divine, God, whatever you call that, is gonna, yeah, meet you there and being able to complete that cycle. But I also think, yeah, that the infinity is, like you said, there is an end to it. So I see that being able to tap into those that spiritual energy because you're not utilizing your own energy. You're able to channel that energy through you to create
Mhm.
something, which is going to be a lot more effective than just yourself. I'm getting bit by bugs in my office.
Oh
There's like a
no,
mosquito in here or something.
that's rude.
Um, and then
Oh,
yeah, he also has the roses and the lilies too on this card.
yeah. So the rose often represent, like the red rose often represents passion. And I think lilies are another kind of representation of a clear intention.
Yeah, like
Like,
purity.
yeah, we don't love that word, but
I think we
um,
talked about that on a
we
different
did.
episode.
That's funny. It keeps coming up. Um, but what I also wanted to say was like when the magician comes up, I just realized I need, oh. When the magician comes up, let me just turn up my light here. It's like it's like the universe is ready to help out. Like it's the
You're ready
mix.
to receive it too, I think.
Ex- yes, exactly. Like it's like all the passion and the clarity and intention is there, and like the universe is like, all right, here's the tools, and it's ready to collaborate.
Hmm.
So yeah, when the magician comes up in our reading, it's also a signal like, okay, it's time to take action now. Like this idea that you've had, or um, if there's an opportunity presenting itself to you and you're like, should I do this? The magician's like, yeah, like you need to start. It's time
Yes.
to take action.
Get it get it done.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to share about him?
Um, I guess let's see. Well, so I jotted down some questions, um, like some questions to ask ourselves when when the magician comes up, or if you are wanting to embody magician energy. Like one of the beautiful things about the cards is because they each represent such such a large part of life, like such a meaningful part of life that we connect to. Like it's a great tool to use if you are wanting to connect to that particular energy. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The the magician, it also represents confidence, and like knowingness. So outside of the realm of doing readings, the tarot is just a beautiful thing to use in our day to day when we are processing life. Like that's something that I do often, and it helps me a lot. Like I don't know if we'll spill the whole tea on this episode, but for me personally, it's been like a really challenging few months. Um, and I'm starting to kind of like get in a new flow-ish, kind of almost. I mean, it's beckoning. The flow is beckoning. It's not quite there yet, but um, and in processing this, I have used the cards as a way to like symbolize and direct my energy. Like the two cards that I was working with was Hangman and Death. Um, and the Hangman comes right before the Death card. The Hangman is 12 and the Death card is 13. And the Hangman represents like that place where we're like, whoa, like what's going on? Or something has just completely sideswiped you. And it represents after the overwhelm, like after kind of the trauma, really. um the Hangman is like, okay, shit got fucked up. um I'm gonna give that space. I'm going to surrender and just be open to guidance. um So, for me, like using tarot as a way to symbolize my life process feels very supportive. And I'm saying all that because, yeah, with the magician is it's a powerful card. And um, like my process now feels as though it is calling for magician energy, like I went through the what the fuck. And then like, oh, okay, all that's over now. And now it's like, okay, it's time for it's time for magician energy. It's time for action. It's time for confidence. It's time to know, like, it's time to know my worth. Like that's another aspect of the magician part. It's like knowing our worth.
Well, and
Uh,
he has everything he needs, like we said, like you already have at this moment, you already have access to all these tools. All this is present. So it's just being able to utilize them.
yes, absolutely. And a message I kept receiving, I mean, I feel like I was receiving it from my guides, but I just kept seeing it like randomly. Um, was, you know, how can you even phrase how it was put? It was just so kind of random, but my brain would piece it together. Like, don't put focus on a place. Like, don't put focus on specific individuals or a place. Put put focus on your work. And what that meant to me was, you know, what I do for a living. Um, it's the spiritual arts and healing arts. And that can be done anywhere with different people. And um, there's always space for new connections. Like we haven't met probably even half of the people that we're going to have like deep connections with, you know? So, um, yeah, I just feel like that's kind of another aspect of magician energy. Like it's all inside me and it will come together as long as I'm like clear with my intention and have, the passion, which I do for my work. Um, that's just going to magnetize experiences. Like that's going to attract new opportunities. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, and I
The,
think he's like tapping in, like you said, as above, so below. You're tapping into the cosmos and to the earth. So if you can, allow yourself to bring in that cosmic energy and move it through your body, that's how
yeah,
we can manifest. So it's like you don't necessarily, like you said, have to have the outcome or the place or the understanding of where that's going to happen. It's like just the energy of what you truly desire opening up for that, and new opportunities are gonna come in. Um, and that can be
absolutely.
applicable for, we're talking more about work, but that can also be love and romance and friendships, and then, also just whatever other aspect of your life that you're using the cards to look at. So you don't have to only do one kind of reading, and you can allow the cards to help you get reflections in all different places in our life. And I think that's why they're so interesting because, you know, you can you can do a collective reading and it can resonate with so many different people because it's reflected into so many different parts of ourself rather than only just, about one thing. Does that make
Hmm.
sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Should we do our reading, or
Yeah,
do you
I
have
think that
anything
sounds
else you want to
good.
say about that? Because I want to share more, but I kind of want to do kind of want to
The
do our
reading.
reading.
Yeah, let's do the reading. I mean, I feel like
We can
we've
talk a little more too.
definitely dove dove deep around like the meaning of the magician.
Yeah, and
And yeah, I think it would be fun to do this collective reading.
I think it's so important too, like we said on some of the other episodes, like, okay, looking at the cards, you're starting to learn the symbols and how they are related to each other as you learn each card. And then, you can look at that in reflection to a reading where you pull the magician and you pull this other card and whatever question you have. Like, there's so many layers to it. But I think also looking at it intuitively, like, what do these things represent for you? And like, what does the idea of, magic magic is creating something out of nothing,
Mhm.
or creating something from changing the state of something to something else, which is that alchemy energy.
Mhm.
Um, and there's so many different ways that we can do that outside of like, I like doing spells and like getting really specific. I'm trying to do magic, like I'm legitimately trying, and I am
Mhm.
succeeding.
Oh,
But
fun. I didn't know that. That's
oh,
fun.
everyone can do magic. But
Yeah.
like um I'll do things where I'm specifically trying to do that, but we're also able to tap into that energy within so many things, like you're saying in a job or career, like creating something out of out of an idea, or
Mhm.
something more literal like making yourself dinner, like that's still tapping into this energy of being able to create something, or art or something like that, music,
Yeah.
those more literal types of, or children types of creating.
Hmm.
um but that's, I think,
Yeah.
more of a different card in terms of the children. But yeah,
that
I'm
makes
into
me. Oh,
candles. I do a lot of candle spells.
oh, cool. Yeah. I mean, what you were saying about magic, um, and how it relates to the magician, it makes me think about. So I was in this course for a long time with Layla Martin. Um,
I feel like you talked about it.
yeah, and we would do like visualizations, and she would engage like our senses, like she would engage like our sense of smell and sight and touch. Um, and it makes me think about the magician card because I feel like it represents what the energies that we need in order to to manifest, like in spell work and
You
in
want to bring
life.
in the elements, yeah.
Yeah. The passion, the emotion, the like intellectual kind of stimulation feeling that the swords has. Um, and earth, like um the tangible. So yeah, that was just interesting that you brought up spell work.
Yeah, depending on what kind of spells you do and like what your intention is, I'm usually just like trying to do something to change or clear energy, like or manifest something, or there's so many different reasons why you would do something like that. But oftentimes we want to engage all of those elements. So, bringing in, some people will have um a literal wand, a literal sword, a literal pentagram like on their altar. Depending, and a chalice. I have a chalice back there, around there. Don't look too close. Um, but I don't have an Athame. I haven't. I'm open to Athame sponsors. Those are the cool knives. But
Oh,
what was I gonna say? And I think this also relates back to, so what I've also been doing right now. Melody has come to some of the classes. I've been doing some psychic development classes in person. Um, that I have done classes online. I'm sure you guys have heard about it on the podcast a lot of times. But I teach this class, Spirit School, and we've been talking about, opening up our psychic intuition. And I think that is also, you're engaging the different senses, like you are saying. And that's, I think, in order for us to get a full message, I think it's important for us to open up our different senses and our way that we perceive things. But I also think that could be interesting to think and reflect upon how different senses might be connected to different elements. And I'm sure there's some
hmm.
Chinese medicine article about this that we are not aware of, like where someone already did all that work. But I do think that there is some kind of connection to thinking about that as well. Like when we're wanting to manifest something out of nothing, utilizing all of our senses and then also utilizing the elements to be able to balance that energy to channel it through us, like him.
Yeah,
Like our boy, the magician.
like our boy.
So
But yeah,
Melody has created, sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just
no, it's
gonna
fine.
just
I
gonna
was
keep
just
it
gonna
pushing.
go on another tangent.
Melody, excuse me, I'm like clearing energy right now. Um, every time I start burping, I know like energy's moving through me. Melody has created a card spread for us. So we're gonna do a little reading, a magician related reading. I'm gonna pull the cards and Melody's gonna share with us some insights about the cards, and then we will write out these questions and put them in the show notes if you guys want to do this for yourself and on the in the comments on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube.
Sounds good.
Shout out to our 13 YouTube listeners. Get
Yeah.
those if you're listening to audio, slide over to the YouTube and go to subscribe, like, share, engage.
It is fun to watch.
We are
Actually,
fun.
we are.
We're
Excuse me.
fun and
My
beautiful.
husband likes to watch them.
Oh, tell them a comment. Shout out,
Oh, I will.
shout out Nate.
Yeah. Um, all right. So here's our collective reading. So this is going to be a 3 card spread.
Should I put him back so he's in here, or should I leave him out?
You know, I'm thinking maybe we should leave him out so that we can like look at him to kind of conjure that energy, you know?
Everyone, if you're doing this later, pull out your magician card
Yeah.
first. Find the magician and find him. I saw a bumper sticker that disturbed me today.
Oh no.
This just reminded me of it, but it was, I found Waldo. He was in my pants.
Wait,
And I really didn't
what?
like that. It really disturbed me a little. You know, where's Waldo?
Is there a meaning that I'm missing?
I think it's sexual. Like Waldo's like giving him a blowjob or something. Am I stupid? Is that what not what it means?
No, I don't know. I
Right.
found Waldo. He was in my pants. Um,
Do you know not know
yeah,
where's Waldo? You
I do know
oh,
where's
okay. I
Waldo,
was like,
but
did
I'm
you not?
just like, I don't know. It's
What
like
else could
not
that
that
be?
interesting. Like for someone to take the time to put that on a bumper sticker, I just, yeah,
And to
it's
buy
not,
it and put on
yeah. Although we are talking about it right now, so I guess it is a
it
little
seeped
interesting.
into my reality. Okay. Anyway, we have the magician. He is here to inspire us for our spread. Let's spread it
Yeah.
open.
What is
I'm
going
feeling silly.
on?
I'm feeling silly all of a sudden. Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna lay the magician on the table, um, so that you can like look at the magician, kind of conjure that emotion, confidence, action, manifestation. And then we're gonna do this 3 card spread. So we're gonna do the spread right now for all our listeners. And usually these are pretty on point for everybody. So
Should I shuffle this like as
yeah,
you're
shuffle it while
talking?
you connect with this question. With the magician before me, right there on the table, what do I need to know to connect to my power and move forward?
Okay.
So, what do I need to know to connect to my power and move forward?
Do you want me to tell you, or I was waiting till the end?
Oh, yeah, just like right now, you're kind of shuffling the cards while you're asking that question, right?
But I pulled my card.
Oh, you already pulled the 3 cards?
No, just the first one for that question.
Oh, okay. So these 3 cards are for that question.
Oh,
Yeah.
stupid.
Okay, we're figuring it out together.
Wait. So I pulled one, so I pulled three, two more.
So yeah, just go ahead
Should
and
I
put
just
that
start
card
again?
back. Yeah,
Let's just
start
start again.
again. And yeah, while you're shuffling the cards, asking, what do I need to know to connect to my power and move forward? And then when you're ready, you're going to put down 3 cards.
Okay. Because if that's supposed to be our card, he'll come back out. I thought it was just one. I was confused.
Oh, yeah, this is a 3 card spread, past, present, and future.
Wait, that's our past. Okay.
Got it? Okay, cool. All right, so what did you draw for the first card? The first card represents what has limited your power.
Okay, well, we got the sun.
Oh, for
To
the first
me,
card,
I'm like, that's what we don't see ourselves. That's why I hear.
we don't see ourselves. That's what
Like
you
you don't
hear?
see the sun. You don't see yourself as sun, but you are.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So that makes sense. So the sun coming up around what has shaped or limited your power is like not not knowing who you really are. And who you really are is the sun, a free little baby on a horsey.
I love that. I'm getting itchy. What is happening?
All
What's
right, so that makes sense. So in the past, yeah, just not being connected to our knowingness of the full expression of who we are. And card number 2,
I see
dos.
also, before we move on, I
Oh,
see
sure.
also like the sun, like that's the infinite like source, like that feeds us and
Mm.
sustains life. And it's like if we can't we're blocking ourselves from receiving that, you know. So we need to clear that out so we can receive these whatever our nourishment.
Yeah, that's really good insight. In fact, I think that that is like what it's standing for is kind of like being cut off from source. Like, yeah, for sure.
Well, you're clearing like fears too around the power that we're embodying with the our boy, the magician.
Yes. Okay. I had to
And
fill
I'll
the
also
microphone here.
post a image of these cards when I post this episode on our social media, Instagram, and on YouTube if you want to look at them. But you can also look up the images, or if you have your own car rider Waite Smith tarot deck, you can pull
Yes.
these out and look at them with us.
All right. What you got for card number deuce?
I have to count because I'm bad at. Wait, what's the V?
Oh, it's the
Five?
Hierophant.
No, the V
Yeah.
is five. So it's the Seven of Wands.
Oh, okay. 7 of Wands. Oh,
He's
shit. Okay.
struggling.
So this card represents, so the question for this card, it being in the present, is where is your power currently being expressed or challenged? And so the 7 of Wands represents feeling feeling like you're at odds with others. Um,
This is you.
yeah, this is me.
This is all of us right
Um,
now. This is a collective reading.
yeah, but so 7 of Wands, it represents it represents conflict, but he's also feeling like he's managing it. Um,
He's knocking these bitches down. Look at him.
yeah. So what I feel like this card is representing in this particular spread is boundaries. Like um the need to the need to set boundaries, but what I feel like that means is setting boundaries in a sense that you are staying aligned and like inside your body. Um, when I mean, talking from my personal experience, when I have conflict with others, um, and just recently, I've been in a situation where others were perceiving me in a way that I just don't think is true at all. um, and past me would have been like, oh, maybe they're right. I guess I suck. But because thankfully, um, my self-worth has improved over the years. Like I know who I am, like I know who I am. Um, and I feel like this card kind of represents someone who's like, fuck off. I know
Yeah,
who I
look at
am.
his face. He's like his facial expression is so like, oh, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
You don't know shit. I'm going to knock these bitches down. Wait, so, also I like that I love his outfit. He's wearing like this green too.
It's
Like
actually really cute.
I know. Green and yellow. So he's in his solar plexus and his heart, you know?
Ah,
Um,
yes.
tell me again, what does the wands represent?
So wands is the element fire. Excuse me.
Melody was also
So
got COVID and was sick. She's been going
yeah.
through it.
Yeah, on top of
Excuse her
everything, I
call.
got COVID. Um, but that was actually a part of the universe's plan because I needed to have 5 days where I just sat with myself and I was like, all right,
What in the hell?
I'm moving on from this situation. I'm cutting it off. Yeah. Um, but anyway, yes, so the wands represent the element fire. And when it comes up in our readings, it has to do with something action oriented. And it has to do with passion. Um,
So how
so yeah,
can we
yeah.
relate that to our question? The fire.
So where is your power currently being expressed or challenged?
You're
What
getting
I
burned
think
out.
this, yeah, like I think this card, well, it definitely represents challenge. And I think um, it's speaking to having boundaries and being able to stay in our bodies and embodied in ourselves and kind of more of the knowing your worth thing. Sorry. This card really does complement like magician energy.
Mm.
The sun does too, actually.
That's
Yeah.
it's a reading. It's gonna be right.
Yeah. Yep.
Spirit said it's
All
good.
right. So well, are you ready? Did you have anything to add about the Seven of Wands?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So now we have the third card, the future card.
And what is the
And this one is what are we going to focus on to embody our power? That's the question for this card.
we have the Page of Pentacles.
Oh, isn't that interesting? So this card has to do with
I like that he's
focusing.
yellow too. And in his
Yeah. Oh,
green outfit.
wow.
The page.
Green and yellow, green and yellow. Um, so the Page of Pentacles is about being open to new opportunities. Um, okay, so the Ace of Pentacles, when that comes up in a reading, that typically represents an opportunity. But the Page of Pentacles is it's more of an energy of curiosity and like emotional openness. Like the word that is coming to mind is naivety, but that isn't the word I want to use. I I think innocence is more of the word that I'm wanting to use. Yeah. So innocence in trusting in the unknown. Like the Page of Pentacles, it's like it's an energy that's like, I know I want something new, but I'm not sure what that looks like yet. So it's like a trust that everything is going to fall together. Um, and that definitely relates to magician energy because, the magician is about embarking on the journey, but the journey has just started. So all the pieces that haven't fallen together quite yet, but we're trusting that it does because it just does with pure intention and passion and alignment. Um, Opportunities come. I mean, I say that like you know, the magician represents action. So we do have to take action. Like, for instance, you know, my job just disintegrated. And I was like, okay, what the fuck am I gonna do? And I was just staring on Instagram and I saw this yoga studio that had just opened in Oakland. And I just felt inspired to reach out. Like I liked the vibe and stuff like that. And um, I reached out just because I wanted to start teaching a class in the city. I've been wanting to do that. And then we started talking, and she was like, well, I really need like more help with the studio, and I need help because I'm also wanting to open up like a spa section of the studio. So it grew into something else, but that was an action on my part. I had no idea that it would turn into anything else. Um, but it's looking like it's going to. So it does, like, having intention and passion is in, you know, connecting to what it is we're wanting, connecting energetically to what it is we're wanting to bring into our lives is really important. And it's also important to take action steps. Like, even if those action steps um, don't look like exactly what we are wanting, like it's a, it's a, it's part of the process.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think,
Yeah.
it doesn't always have to be um the internet and social media and like putting yourself out there and like yada yada all that stuff. But, I got a job just by posting on Instagram because someone hit me up
Yeah.
and they were like, "We want to hire you." And I got a job to do aesthetics at this other. I'm wearing the shirt today. Shout out Blue Door. Thanks for hiring me. But she reached out to me because she saw my Instagram and she like liked my vibe and saw that I did facials and stuff like that. And like, you know, um many an opportunity I've had through podcast guests and things like that is just like a reach out, and you never know if people are going to say yes or say no, and like you really have to unattach to like the outcome of it, of like, oh, like, well, I didn't get the job at the place in Oakland, or I didn't get the person to send me the email back, or like I ended up getting this other thing. Like, we can't, that's a huge part of manifestation in general, is to let go of the outcome, and like that is the hardest part, and that's why usually it's like hard for us to actually do it, because we're getting in our own head about it. But I think like if we don't try, and the action was, me just showing up and doing, posting videos and stuff like that. It's not like I was hard manual labor, but I am, showing my personality and who I am and things like that. And like that, I think is also a way that we can tap into our authentic self, whether that's online or in person with, just your friends and your family. But being able to be like your true self, I feel like that opens up the opportunities that we want rather than, the place that you were before with your job. Like it was good for then, but you weren't able to fully be like your authentic self in full acceptance. So it's like, you set the intention that you wanted to work for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised when you set an intention and you do energy work to have something happen, and then it actually happens. Then we have to do the work to get everything else to align. Like we said, we have all the tools, like the magician's telling us. Um,
Yeah.
but it's sometimes we have to have that in between of putting those pieces together before we can have like the full manifestation of like what we want. But then sometimes by the time we get there, our mind has changed anyway. So it's good that we didn't get that thing, you know?
Yeah. Definitely. It makes me remember, and I think I talked to you about this, Grace. Like, um, I was dog sitting back in, I guess it was April, and I was just feeling really weird. Like there were weird energies. Um, the woman I was
Is that
dog
when you
sitting
had the little
for,
boy in your back?
mm, yes, yeah. Or wait, I can't remember. I dog sit quite a bit, so um, but yeah, like there, I was just feeling a lot of weird vibes. People were being especially odd to me that month, and I was like, what's going on? And so at night, I was feeling overwhelmed by these energies. And so I was meditating on feeling feeling aligned with being appreciated by the people around me. Like, and I was while I was meditating, I was just really tuning into what that would feel like, and I was kind of doing that 5 sense reality thing that Layla Martin does in her meditations. Just like, what would it look, visualizing, like, what would it look like, what would it smell like, you know, like my sense of touch, like how would it feel? And it was crazy because I did it 3 days in a row. And then right after that, my boss was like, yeah, so your position's been removed. And I was like, this sucks. And there were a lot of complications with it too that were pretty disheartening, and just disappointing as far as the people that I have been close to for the past 6 years. And, you know, I mean, I'm still processing, but looking back, yeah, I mean, I energetically need to be in spaces where what I'm offering is being appreciated. I mean, that's just for everybody. That's just better for everybody. You know,
Yeah.
like if I'm going to offer something to people that are like, ugh, I mean, that doesn't work. So, um, in a lot of ways, I think that me meditating on this alignment of feeling appreciated manifested a new reality.
I mean, you did. I don't think that's a question.
Yeah.
I just think oftentimes we aren't ready. We think we're not ready. We think we're not ready. We think we're not ready. So sometimes when we're like something has to change for us in order for us to make the change. And we don't actually have to do that. We can just tap in and like make the change. But I think that's a lesson that a lot of us learn. And like for me, that's always comes in with my health. Like I have always just like, I'm like getting better and then something else happens and like it is a point of reflection, or maybe that shows up in people's relationships in their life. Like maybe they're just getting into the same fight again. And it's like, how can you change the way you see yourself too in order to um all the shit we said earlier about this bitch, the sun.
Yeah. Hmm.
Also, anything else? Because we should probably wrap it up soon.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my phone is
This is
about
going to
to
be a
die,
really long
actually.
episode, so I hope you guys liked it.
Yeah. Let's see. Just some like closing thoughts. So yeah, basically, as a recap, the magician is the bridge between vision and action. Um, the magician is still, you know, the magician is a visionary, but it's starting um, the process of taking action. Um, and, just as like a little reflection, um, if you'd like to journal a little bit, well, I'll make a post about this too on Instagram. Um, a good journal prompt to connect to magician energy would be, where do I need to trust in my tools and take a step forward?
Mm.
So yeah, those are the recaps. Next we'll be talking about the high priestess, which is
Yay!
kind of the
We're
opposite
gonna
of
have
me.
so much fun this next month. Thank God.
Yeah, things are getting better.
Guys, we're tapping into the High Priestess. Get ready for life to
Yeah.
get exciting. And I think also like looking at the prompts that you sent too, like if people, you listen to the collective reading and you want to do your own reading as well, I think it could be fun to look at those questions, journal them, and then pull your cards and like see how some of the things that you were thinking you can like create a reading, especially if you're newer to the cards, you're still learning all the information and the symbols and all that stuff. So I think it'd be cool to kind of pull from your mind first, write down stuff, and then pull the cards to see how those relate, like we were talking about with ours. Like, how does that relate to the questions? Because that's how we
Mhm.
learn too, you know?
Yeah, just by throwing yourself in there. All right.
Um, that's that.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, I
I think we
also
covered it.
have the to me crystal for my crystal lovers out there.
Yeah.
The magician is the it to me this is the magician stone, the labradorite crystal. So I would, if you are a crystal person, I would connect with your labradorite crystals, and you could definitely, like Melody said, like meditate, connect with the cards, embody the cards, like put this card, the magician card, on your altar this month, or in your room on your dresser, like somewhere where you're gonna see all the time and connect with it. And if you have labradorite, meditate with it, hold it in your heart space, like sit with it on your altar. I also saw this girl. I'll find her TikTok and I'll put it in the show notes if you guys want to check her out. I just found her TikTok yesterday and she's doing this series that I thought would be really fun for people to just check out and maybe that will inspire you to do it for yourself. But she said she's like pulls a tarot card every day and then creates her outfit for the day like based upon like the card and being inspired by the card. So I thought that could
Yay.
be like a really fun little thing to do like if you want another way to tap into the cards like be inspired by that girl. Um but then also, yeah, like you can um draw the cards and there are so many different ways you can sit and meditate with them. But I would just, yeah, like put this somewhere you can see it throughout the month. And if you haven't gotten your tarot deck yet and you're wanting to, just go buy one. They're not that expensive. And then maybe you have a birthday or something coming up and maybe you can ask for it for a gift. Mother's
Yeah.
Day is Sunday. If any of my mothers out there listening, have someone you know in your life get you a tarot deck. I got my mom, or I think me and my sibling got it for them for Christmas. But one year we got them a tarot deck. I don't think she's ever used it, but it's sitting on display,
Hmm.
so it looks nice.
It's their display deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the energy's still working on her, just sitting there, so it's doing something.
Nice.
Well, thank you so much for listening to Spiritual Freak Show, journeying through the tarot with me and Melody. And we'll be back for the High Priestess and maybe some other bonus episodes too. I have some fun ideas that I'm going to try to wrangle Melody into doing with me. So perhaps we'll see you another time. And yeah,
Yay.
follow us on social media. We'll put all our links and all our information. And yeah, Melody has some cool new projects that she's working on. So once those are more magicianified and solidified, we'll share with you guys and you can check out her website that will be coming soon. So, yeah, thank you. Anything else you want to say?
I was going to invite everybody to the thing tomorrow, but
It won't be out then by then probably. I'll
right.
probably gonna put it out next week. But check
But
out
there will be
Soul
other.
Rituals where Melanie and I both will be working and teaching and doing
Yeah, we
stuff.
both work
So
there now.
if you're in Sonoma County, check it out. And yeah. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.